think I just pooped.
Ooh, that sounds scary. Salutations and mutilations. You're listening to the East Coast Horror Group presents Dead On Movie Reviews. Tonight, we will present horror movie reviews and lively debate here on EastCoastHorrorGroup.com and on future select Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern. You can join our live chat at that time by clicking on the live shows and join us on the YouTube Live. Now, we actually have the YouTube live chat right there at that page. You don't even have to click into YouTube. You can jump into the chat there, easy as pie. So you can give that a shot. Now, I'm your host, Tim Kretschmann, coming to you from the East Coast of Lake Michigan. It's my honor tonight to introduce the Faculty of Fear panel presenting tonight's lectures. Now, usually what we do is we put up a screenshot like this. But we knew Mike wasn't going to make it, so we have a little out of office going there. We actually have another that is not going to make it tonight because Sandy is also not going to make it. Well,
What'd you do to her?
I don't know. This time I am blameless, and we're just going to.
What did you do to her?
Nothing unusual. The usual.
Why isn't she here?
We're all wondering that. But that's the way it goes. So that's what our show looks like tonight. Because the other person that we have on the line, he ain't so great, but he's full of hate. Let me introduce to you the gingerific co-host, is little baby Drew Face Poos Seidler.
Stop it, I hate you.
Drew.
Hi, Tim. I am glad to have it's just me and you. You know, Mike and Sandy, they were dead weight anyway. They really came to see us. So
it's ongoing, and everybody knows it. It's just the way that it is, and it's very sad. But I wasn't able to get the Skype going tonight for Sandy, so
you kidnapped her.
Yeah, that's basically the situation at hand. So we're going to go with probably going to be an abbreviated show because we're
you
not
kidnapped
just
her.
going
You
to keep
killed her, haven't you?
On and on and on. What? No, not that you know of. But I do have to say, Drew, we got a great show anyway because I know the movie that you're going to do. I know the movie I'm going to do. So there's going to be some interesting stuff here tonight on the program. So,
and then we're going to talk about how we feel about football players standing for the national anthem.
I have a feel we're going to disagree on all sorts of things there. Actually, what I might tell you about is my new passion, which is MoviePass. But I'll tell you all about that in a minute. First,
does it work for porn?
What?
What?
Huh?
Huh?
Okay, let's go. It's time for you, Drew. Drew, what have you been watching?
Well, Tim, thanks for asking. I can't believe I'm up first. It's usually, oh yeah, we're the only people here this week.
That would be the explanation for it.
So I watched a movie from 2006. It's a Korean film directed by Joon-ho.
Okay.
With the title The Host. I just love saying Korean names. Any Asian name in particular just makes me happy to say.
Now, we do need to be clear. This is the 2006 The Host.
Correct.
Because there was a 2016 by the same folks that made Twilight, that same author. So you would think that that's what Drew is going to talk about because of his love.
Of course, when you think of
Twilight.
Drew, you think of immediately Stephanie Meyer in the Twilight series. Absolutely.
Right. So, yeah. So it was unusual to find out that you had seen it. Now, you had never seen this movie before?
No, it's one of those movies whenever Netflix actually had a starring system and a grading system visible. They would always have 5 stars and be a horror movie. I'm like, I just pass it up thinking it's going to kind of be just a cheesy creature feature kind of a flick. Like I thought the CGI would be goofy. I don't know why I just rejected tens of thousands of other people's opinion. But I was surfing Netflix last night looking for something to watch, and I thought, I'll finally give this a try and see if everyone, what the hype was about. Let's say.
But you're not a real monster guy, right?
Well, I mean, other than Godzilla and Godzilla, just for almost nostalgia factor,
yeah,
and just as iconic as it is, but yeah, not for the most part.
probably like The Thing is probably a
Yeah,
monster
The Thing.
movie I like, but that's probably about it, right?
That's a sci-fi mix, so that's hard to.
I think most monster movies are a sci-fi mix because I'm
That's
thinking
true.
like Creature of Black Lagoon. That's
I mean,
got kind
Alien
of a
is
sci-fi.
definitely.
Alien is definitely Frankenstein. I mean, you go down the list. It's only
Eight-legged
stuff like
freaks. Those
yeah,
are the kind of things that I usually don't like. There's kind of like exploitative,
the Sci-Fi
kind of
Channel stuff.
the grindhouse
Yeah.
creature features kind of a thing.
See, and
Where they just make an ant really big on film. They
right.
just do a close up and then put people walking in front of it like that. That's kind of what I thought it was going to be
Empire
like.
of the Ants. Yeah, it's one of my favorites. I love the monster movies. That's my thing. I love creature features, and honestly, when they're bad, I enjoy them too. A lot of times, it's when I see stuff like Antichrist. That's when I get mad. But
Movies where I have to think about things. I just get so angry.
I don't like it when they get pretentious.
Hold my hand, Dan.
I have not seen
this to be
a
entertained.
pretentious creature feature yet. They just
we should
don't
try
do
to
them.
we should try to make an artsy creature feature. Is that possible?
This one I think almost tried. But it went for the same trope that I think Godzilla has. But,
well, this was basically, and this isn't supposed to be insulting, but it's Godzilla's Korean little brother.
right.
And the thing that got me was the protagonist of the film is such an idiot.
Well, yeah.
Through the whole film, they make a point to show what an idiot he is, like Forrest Gump level idiot, but like not pathetic and not like handicapped. I mean, they make it a point.
Wait a minute.
Lazy he is.
If kind of mentally handicapped, are we sure it's not Pennywise?
I've never seen him in the same place at the same time before. I can say that.
Because you're famous on From Dusk Till Con Radio, explaining to people that Pennywise is actually mentally disabled, which you have some sort of big problem with the mentally handicapped, and you just rail against them all the time on that show. But Pennywise has kind of a way of speaking that you like to make fun of, like you make fun of most mentally handicapped people.
The one-man show here in a second. Oh, man. And by that, I mean you're leaving.
Oh, okay.
But no, I mean, yeah, the story is about the protagonist who is just adult, 100%, almost in a comedic way in the beginning of the film. And a lot of the time, they kind of just show him as sleeping, and people just kind of, they don't take him seriously. I'll say that. So somehow he has a child who is also in the film.
Yeah, but keep in mind, I can name it would go very quickly. I can name the amount of monster movies that have actually intelligent characters involved. Even my beloved Jaws, I admit the fisherman is just an idiot. He's a fool. Why the hell wouldn't you drive back in? You know, a lot of these things, a shark can only kill you in the water. So it's easy to solve. Just don't go in the water, right? That's it. No problem. And yet everybody keeps jumping into the water. So that's what creature features are like.
You know, I'm glad you stopped me there for a second, because it let me remember that the opening scene was Scott Wilson was in it from The Walking Dead and from a slew of other things, which I was taken aback at first because I didn't realize that he was going to be in the film, let alone for as short as he was only in it for the first scene. And basically, obviously, you know how Godzilla is a product of nuclear testing, nuclear fallout, radiation.
Yeah.
Well, this creature, which I don't think they ever gave a name actually to throughout the film. I'm trying to think, and I don't think that they did give it a name. But they dumped a lot of formaldehyde down the sink,
Right.
which then leaked into the river.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, a major river in Korea, and created this thing. Best way I could describe the creature would probably be like a tadpole the size of an 18-wheeler with little legs.
Yeah, that's a good approach, and it seems bipedal, but it's almost like a kangaroo, though.
It's not a graceful creature on land, that's for sure.
No.
But, so the CGI, I was really afraid of. It's one of the reasons why I didn't turn it on to begin with, because I thought for sure it was going to be three-headed shark attack, Sharknado, sci-fi level, Sharktopus kind of CGI stuff, and it wasn't. I thought that they did a good job of keeping the action up by having this creature kind of roam the streets, but not in such a way that it looked too unrealistic. Like I never got it taken out of the story by the CGI.
I think the trick that they had, and you've heard me talk about CGI before, and this one I think they did a good job. You feel the weight of the creature.
Right.
And I think that's extremely difficult when you're not doing practical effects. I think it's damn near impossible, frankly. The Thing prequel that came out where they basically CGI'd the whole thing.
Right.
That was my main problem. Visually, it looked okay, but it didn't feel like it had... Actually, no, I take that back. The Thing prequel kind of got that right. It was Cowboys and Aliens. That was the other movie that came out at the same time. Cowboys and Aliens. These creatures moved so incredibly fast and didn't have any sort of impact on the ground they were walking on. You just felt like this is a cartoon that got drawn on here. It's the difference between when you watch a cheap Saturday morning cartoon and you watch a Disney film. There's just a different level of quality. I think this one was pretty close to some of the best, I guess, creature CGI that I've seen. There's certainly better CGI out there, but I thought this one did a good job. The thing that I liked about it, they didn't have what I call like the hero shot, where they just like slowly take the camera over the whole monster so you can see it perfectly in daylight and everything. They basically showed it as they had to. And I thought they showed it enough where I didn't feel cheated, but they didn't show it so much that you get sick and tired of it like you do in Three-Headed Shark Attack. Well, I'm not supposed to pick on that one because I got a friend in that movie. Two-Headed Shark Attack. That sort of thing. But what was your feel of all that stuff in the sewer where the kids are kind of?
Well, I don't really. I guess the point of it was leftovers. I guess you don't really know what's happening at first because he keeps the monster keeps abducting people and then taking them back home to this little den. Which is where you find out that the protagonist idiot's daughter is hiding out at. Now I noticed, and that maybe that they never explained this, I don't think. But why was it only the two children that somehow survived being swallowed by the fucking creature?
Last in, first out.
Huh.
No, I don't know. Maybe because they had already paid them more than the day rate because they had some lines.
Yeah.
And that's why. Which would make the most sense.
But I mean, that can't be makes the most sense because the entire point of the film is him trying to rescue his daughter. So it's not like that was an afterthought in the writing process.
I don't know. This guy's kind of, like you say, he's kind of an idiot. He may have not been sure who these girls were. He's not the brightest bulb in the drawer.
Right. So anyway, they go to all this extent of making the lead character, whose name is Park Hae-bong.
Oh, I got the high score at that over at the arcade.
Nice.
I
Good
put
job.
my initials
Proud of
and
you.
everything. Yeah, that was.
And that was just coming back to it. Like, so you could put the edit in, so you had enough time to take the edit and put it back in. Anyway,
Of course
you hear
I'm
that?
gonna keep that.
Shit's going crazy at my house now. Anyway, so they make such a big deal about him being an idiot, and then they try to go to great lengths to make you feel sorry for him at the same time, when it's really it feels like it's his own fault. It's hard to get behind him.
Right.
I mean, they do some fucked up shit in this movie. I mean, he's not just an idiot. Like, oh, it's funny, I tripped. Like, he gets his dad killed. He gets his daughter killed. He he gets lobotomized in some crazy, like, looks like fucking the sea. Sorry, it looked Kubrick-esque almost. The way that scene was shot, as the operation was happening, it was such an intense scene, and I think that's something that distracted me a little bit. It was just, it might have been a combination of the subtitles and acting, and some of the stuff just not coming off the way I think they're meaning it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it seemed to go from one extreme to the next. Like, you would laugh at him, and then his dad would go on, this story about how nobody understands him and how he thinks it's his fault that he is the way he is, and all these things, and it's swaying too far one direction or the other. I think that in a story like this, what they did wrong
Mm-hmm.
was they tried to tie too much drama to the story when you know what the film is. You're not looking for this family story and this big allegory about the lengths you would go to save your family. I mean, I thought it was going to be a more fun creature flick, and there was great parts of it, and they did it wonderfully. But I think they could have left some more of the really heavy drama out of it.
See, and that's where I think they wanted to differentiate themselves from the fun little creature feature. That's how they were trying to differentiate themselves. And
I mean, they really went heavy with some of that stuff.
They
what is this doing in here?
Here's my thing. I don't know how that played overseas. You know, I wonder if that works better over there, and I'm just not, I'm from a different culture, and I just don't get the significance of some of that stuff. I remember coming away from this movie, and I saw it shortly after it came out, because it was a creature feature. That's, my jam. I felt like it was, I like to call these almost great movies. It's like, boy, it had a lot of the elements, but there was something intangible, and I think a lot of it was it just didn't connect with the characters on screen.
Right.
There was just something that was missing, that little extra oomph that didn't make it. Now, I did find out what it was that was missing, Drew. You know what
What's
it was?
That? Shark.
Originally, this movie was written in North Korea, and Kim Jong-un was going to come out and wrestle the host mano a mano.
Shut the fuck up. Is that a real story?
This is absolute. Drew, who's saying this? Who's saying it? You know it's true because it's coming from my mouth.
Right. Sorry, that was my fact check. You're right.
I mean, I would never lie in any case, at any time, on anything that I discuss here on a program of the level of East Coast Horror Group presents Dead on Movie Reviews.
It's true.
This is the show of honesty and truth and the American way. Thank you very much.
And time for editing and back. All right.
I need time for editing. That's
I
gonna be
mean,
awesome. Everybody's gonna love that portion. That's gonna be the only part there.
right. Tim exclaiming his honesty on live on the air. Bullshit. But I could totally see the North Koreans coming out with some sort of film about
Look at these weaklings.
the great leader
Yeah, the great leader.
wrestling Godzilla or whatever it would be. Doesn't he have a habit of kidnapping filmmakers and making them make just ridiculous shit anyway?
Was it him or his father?
I mean, what's the difference, really?
I don't know that they're. Well, they were different puppets in Team America, World Police.
America.
Matt Damon. That's my favorite part of the movie.
They fuck with Matt Damon for no reason. Yeah.
So great. Matt Damon is Pennywise.
I'm telling you, you watch.
Code now? Is that going to be code for mentally disabled? It's going to say, Pennywise that thing.
Well, I would never use something so sensitive as that as a slang throwaway term. All I was doing was simply showing, my insight into the character and the backstory of Stephen King's Pennywise.
You are such a douche. My God.
And just trying to let the people in on something, maybe that they didn't understand that one of the best horror villains out right now is actually maybe a little slow.
That guy, by the way, is making money like nobody's fucking business right now.
Yeah.
Well, I'll talk about this after the host. I've been in the movie theater a lot lately, and I got to tell you what I reported. Yeah, I'll tell you about that after the host here. So, what else do you have to say about the host, or is it grade time?
Yeah. I mean, I think we can go ahead and give it a grade.
Give it a grade, okay. And this requires me pressing lots of buttons at the same time. Here we go. I don't know why I make things so complicated for myself, but that's how it is. Okay. So, the host, 2006, not the Twilight one. What do you grade this?
I'll give it just a solid B, I think. I think they needed to go more in one direction or the other. Either have the drama or don't.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're going to have the drama, you got to take some of the laughy stuff out of it. So, yeah, for that reason, and that reason only, really, I think I'll give it a B. Otherwise, it's a really enjoyable creature feature.
I think that's a solid grade. I would probably have to give it like a B plus, but I'm more of a creature feature guy, as we've said. So, okay. Well, let's go to the chat room here for a second, because I'm going to talk a little bit about MoviePass that I've been ODing on.
Are they a sponsor of the show or something?
They're not.
Oh, man.
Not from want of trying, by the way. I've been trying, but they aren't coming into the fold just yet.
Their loss.
Yeah, you would think after everything we did for Netflix, we're pretty well the reason people know Netflix exists is us. But for those that don't know, MoviePass is a service where you pay $10 a month, and you can go to all the movies at the movie house that you like. And all you do is you have to have a smartphone, and you check in to the movie that you're about to go see. You go up to the ticket booth, and you buy the ticket. They give you a debit card that gets they give you a debit card that gets loaded the second that you check in on the app. So one of the things that I've done is I've gone to see a lot of movies, even though I haven't been 100% sold that I should see them. I'm talking about what is it, The Birth of the Dragon. I knew that movie was going to suck. I went anyway because it was like free, right? What I have heard is some friends of mine have gone in, they check in, and they haven't had time to see the movie, and they'll just go and they buy gift cards for $11.
Nice. Wow, that's crazy.
And they can use it later. So yes, people are cheating the system already. We do have a question in the chat room. Is it only for certain chains? Yes, but it's most of them. And if you go to MoviePass.com and type in the zip code, it'll tell you which one's local. Which one locally you can utilize for that. Anyway, I don't know about the movie houses by you, but right now, when I walk
not
past
even there isn't any because it's not a goddamn movie house. The dumbest shit I ever heard.
The movie house. What do you call it? The cinema? Pretentious fuck.
The theater.
Pretentious fuck. Anyway, when you walk past the individual theaters, that's how you use it. Because they're individual theaters, you go to a multiplex, okay? Or, as many call it, the movie house.
Nope.
When you walk past individual theaters, they have video screens that show you which seats are still available and how many are taken. And I don't know about you, but every single theater I walk past, I always look to see how busy a movie is. Okay?
Right.
And I've been going so often that I've been getting a good feel for it, and I have yet to see a showing of it that has more than like 3 seats open.
Damn.
And I'm talking, I've gone in Monday night. I was there Monday night, and there was a freaking showing of it with like 3 seats open. Yep. Meanwhile, I came out of The Kingsman, which, you know, brand new movie. It was still technically, I guess it's still part of the opening weekend, the Monday after. And there were maybe 6, 7 people. By the time the movie actually started, there were about 6, 7 people in the theater. I walked past that fucking It Theater, which was 2 times larger, and that thing was filled. There were only 3 seats open. How the hell does it keep doing it?
I don't know. I mean, because it's not one of those movies, like when you think of movies that did a ton of money, like Titanic and stuff, you think of it's kind of a teen heartthrob thing. Kids go back over and over and over again. But I wouldn't say that this is a movie that you would want to see more than one.
The conventional wisdom is it's R, that, you know, right. Nobody can see it. I'm telling you.
I will say this. In the theater, whenever I saw it, there was like 4 girls who had to be 13, 14 years old in front of me. And I'm like, how the fuck did they get in this movie? Right before the movie starts, one of them's dad comes down and sits right next to him. Like, oh, wonderful. That's how.
Yeah, well, they're going multiple times. I think there are a lot of people that are going to see it 3, 4 times already this early in it being out. I mean, there is just a ton of people going to see this thing over and over and over again. Meanwhile, you walk past Mother and you see 1 seat lit up, and you're like, oh, that poor dear. Maybe I could go in there and warn them to go see a higher quality film like fucking Dark Tower, which was terrible too, but it was better than this.
I don't know. You were before the show.
Say again. I think you kind of cut out there.
You told me.
Yeah. What's going on?
Really.
Say that again. I'm sorry. It cut out, Drew. What's going on?
You're dead to me.
No, I'm serious. We're having issues again. It's probably Sandy fucked up our Skype. This is probably what happened.
Way to go, Sandy.
Yeah. Say it again. I'm sorry, Drew.
When we were talking before the show about Mother?
Right. Yes, we were talking about Mother. Hello? I think he's fucking with me now. I'm almost positive of it. Drew, did I lose you? God damn it. Here we go again, kids. Fuck. Hello, Drew. All right. Don't know what happened to him. We're going to, I don't know what we're going to do. First thing I'm going to do is check the tape. What time are we at? We're at 31. Okay. Shit. We do this live so I don't have to edit. What is going on? My goodness. All right. Well, might as well go to the studio shot. Okay, so here's what's going on right now, everybody. There. We had Drew
Hello?
on the show. There he goes.
Hello?
Hello. Can you hear me, Drew?
Yeah, what the fuck are you doing?
I'm doing nothing, dude. Nothing. Okay. Okay. You were saying before the show.
But yeah, before the show we were talking about Mother, the film.
Right.
And you had told me how much you really enjoyed it.
No, that
and
was not
then you
said.
said I don't want to admit it on the air because people will think I'm a pretentious asshole.
No.
But you said it was your vote for film.
And I wish it was me that just cut Drew off, but it wasn't. That sometimes does happen on Skype to blowhards. I've heard that.
Fuck your face.
Oh, there he is. Yeah, here's my thing with Mother. I think there's a place for Mother. It's a trash heap. What it was an overdone allegory, is what it was. There were no real characters.
What do you mean? Harvey Bardeen was in it. There's no real characters. Jennifer Lawrence was in it.
Yeah, they were playing concepts. And when you see the film, you'll know. Because what I love is all the people defending it. Well, if you didn't like it, you don't understand it. No, it's fucking simple to understand. It takes 5 seconds to figure it out. But I shouldn't say that. Early on in the movie, you're kind of like, what the fuck's going on? What the fuck's going on? Because it's more puzzle than plot. Okay? But when you finally figure it out, at that point, you don't care anymore. And this is another one of those movies that I think it only ran 90 minutes, thankfully. But I think this movie in a 30-minute dose might have worked. But at 90 minutes, you're so pissed off by the time it actually kind of gets around to its point, you don't care anymore. And what I find what angers me most about Mother is they ran those "it's the scariest movie ever" previews before it. Basically, complete garbage. It wasn't a horror movie at all. There was a disturbing scene, one of them, one total disturbing scene. And I'll tell you, Black Swan was 10 times the horror movie this thing was. This
Really?
had very little, there was nothing horrific about it. Okay? Some people are going to say, but look at this story. It's telling how people just aren't, and I'm not going to explain it because then I give away what little there is to this movie. If you are forced to see it, I don't want to be the one that screws it up for you, because that's literally the only thing there is to the movie is figuring out the little puzzle. Once you figure out the little puzzle, you kind of go, oh, well, that's really Pennywise. And it's sad because there are a lot of very talented people. I love Michelle Pfeiffer, always have. I am really looking forward to seeing her in Murder on the Orient Express. I love.
You're not allowed to say Orient anymore, I don't think.
I'm sorry, Asian American Express.
There you go.
Yeah, Ed Harris. I love Ed Harris. I love Javier Bardem. I like Jennifer Lawrence. I've been getting off of that train. Um, there's been a couple of movies that she's in so far that I go, oh, she's hitting beyond her ability here. And I mean, it's becoming abundantly obvious that she is getting in as many movies as she possibly can right now before people get wise to her. I really feel like she's like, I got to keep taking movies because pretty soon they're going to figure out I really am a hack. And
I don't. Silver Linings Playbook was pretty fucking good.
I like that movie, but the more I look at it, it's like, was she really the good thing about it? Like, I look at Passengers, which Passengers you can argue back and forth if it's a good movie or not. But what is good about that movie has almost nothing to do with Jennifer Lawrence. I would have been, I always in these,
You're talking about the movie with Hugh Jackman and Jake Gyllenhaal?
No, Passengers.
What the fuck is Passengers?
Passengers is the one where they're on a spaceship.
Oh, she's with the guy from Parks and Rec in that movie.
Right, Pratt.
Yeah.
And
no, I'll never watch that ever in my life.
Chris Pratt. It's got nothing to do with her. I think you could have found 55 different actresses that could have done that role equally, if not better. And that's where I'm kind of at with her. I'm like, she is an extremely average actress. And I think it's funny as hell that Mother, with all these high-powered people, made less money than The Girl at the End of the Lane, which was the first thing I saw her in. And that was just a shipwreck. Well, it wasn't the first thing. It was near the beginning.
Right. I think we said they held on to that for a little while because I remember
they
her
knew
being
Hunger
popular.
Games. Yeah, they knew she was a rising star because of X-Men First Class and Hunger Games and some of that stuff. But yeah, she is becoming the actress that you get if you have a little nudity in your movie. You're like, ooh, let's get Jennifer because she'll do it. So anyway, that's what I have to say about that. MoviePass, I would tell people, if you go to the movie house on a regular basis, you really need to get one of these, add it to your collection of different credit cards. Okay, it's time now. I think I filled enough time there. We are going to do my my review, if I can do this with the left hand. There we go. And I am going to be talking about Annabelle Creation. So first, before I start, Drew, did you see the other Annabelle film?
Nope, and I never will.
That is a wise choice, by the way. And me calling you wise doesn't happen a whole heck of a lot. But that is a wise choice. The first Annabelle, to my mind, was one of the worst horror movies that had come out in years.
Better or worse than Mother?
Well, first of all, Mother is not a horror movie. It's definitely better than Mother. It's definitely better than Mother because it doesn't
you didn't understand it, Tim.
It doesn't pretend to be something that it isn't. All right. Let me tell you about Annabelle Creation.
Like when you pretend not to be an asshole every day.
It is a hard job for me, but I'm up to it. I got the chops.
Hi, Georgie. Why don't you come see me?
Hey, we all float here. Wait, I got the. Where is it? God, there we go. There it is.
Proud of you.
It's the Pennywise voice. 12 years after the tragic death of their little girl, a doll maker and his wife welcome a nun and several girls from a shuttered orphanage into their home where they soon become the target of the doll maker's possessed creation, Annabelle. Okay? Now, I just read that right out of IMDb, right? So, listen to what it sounds like if I play this first.
Tim, I can't hear any of that stuff.
You can't?
No.
You didn't hear that?
No.
I think I have everything on.
I didn't hear the theme music or anything.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. We got to redo stuff again. God damn it. Well, anyway.
Like, I haven't heard the audio from your side the whole show.
Oh, really? That would
Yeah.
explain a lot. You're hearing my voice?
I am, yeah.
Okay. All right, we'll have to mess around with that after the show. Anyway, what I was playing was the Bomb Chicken Bound Bound thing, because welcoming a nun and several girls to a shuttered orphanage, that sounds like it could be a porn movie, or it could be a horror film.
You're disgusting.
I am. So, Annabelle, what do I think? First of all, this is a prequel to all the other stuff. One of the things I don't like about Annabelle Creation is if you look at the movie posters, they prominently put, this is part of the Conjuring universe. I'm like, right. Oh, shit, do we need another freaking universe around here? But here's the thing I'll say about this. At least they're looking at the Conjuring universe as more like Twilight Zone, where it's just like, yeah, we're just doing lots of supernatural shit. They don't all have to be exactly the same. However, it seems like they have a lot of, okay, let's do a sequel to this movie. I made some money. Oh, this character was popular. Let's use that again. There's a lot of that type of nonsense going on, but the movies themselves have varied. One of the things I'll say right off the bat, and this happens in the first 10 minutes, so not a spoiler, but I love flicks where little kids get creamed by large vehicles. And we have a little kid walking in front of a large vehicle very early on in this movie. I was like, applause, everybody. That's awesome. Because I'm kind of sick of movies that, you know, oh, we're not going to hurt the dog, or we're not going to hurt the kid. We'll destroy everybody else on screen, but we don't want to touch the poor little innocent kid. Irritating. Absolutely irritating. But anyway, the kid dies, makes the doll, and the doll...
Wait, how does the kid make the doll if he's dead?
No, the parent of the kids make the doll.
Okay.
Okay. The
and
father
trap his
is
soul
a doll
in it.
maker. And then, yeah, and I don't want to reveal that because that's what the entire plot is, what little plot there is.
I just guessed it.
Not really. That's what you think happened, and then of course they change it a little bit. So, there. Let's hit that spoiler button again. There we go.
So I hated The Conjuring. I'll never watch anything that says The Conjuring universe in it.
Okay.
So.
I don't know that this is the one that's going to change things for you. I don't know about that. I will say the doll maker is played by Anthony LaPaglia, who I think is a very good actor.
Never heard of him.
He was in a TV series, I want to say it's like The First 48 or something like that. It was about missing people. And it was like a cop procedural, but I do like him. If you saw his face, you would go, oh, that guy. He's done a lot of character pieces over the years. He usually plays like an authority figure or an Italian mobster, you know, one of those two types of things. There is a hot nun. There is a bunch of kids that are almost entirely generic. Now, unlike the first Annabelle movie, this one actually has things happen from time to time.
Yay!
And actually, the pacing was pretty good. because I had a large soda before going to see the movie. And at no point did I feel, okay, it's going to be slow for a minute. I can run and take a leak. It was like there was always something happening, so I just sat there and held it. Which a lot of times, if a movie's not that good, that's usually a good indicator for me. If I feel like, shit, I'll just go take a whiz, that movie's probably not a top 10 movie. You know, it's pretty bad. This one I actually sat there with legs crossed. There were some. Well, I mean, how else are you gonna do it? Some jump scares. It does a good job at earning most of the scares. It is a lot of doors opening by themselves, things kind of, you know, a rocking chair moving back and forth. You know, it's all pretty pedestrian. There are one or two really creepy moments that are good. There is a demon that presents itself as pretty spooky looking. But here's the thing I'll say about this movie. I saw this thing 2, maybe 3 weeks ago. My recollection of this thing is already leaving me. It's not a film that sticks with you. For the hour and 50 minutes you're watching it, it's okay. You're like, oh, there's nothing I hate here, but it's okay. But you're going to find after you leave the movie house, you'll forget
Fucking idiot.
Almost everything. I mean, the characters, it's hard to remember any. There's the hot nun. There's the weird doll maker guy. I keep forgetting, this is how weird this movie is written. I kept forgetting if his wife was alive or not because she was absent through most of the film. And so you're like, is he a widower or what's going on? That's literally how you felt about it. That's kind of weird when a major character you don't know, you know, their marital status. There was the scaredy cat girl and the girl you thought was going to be the final girl but turned out not to be the final girl. That, you know, there's the girl with the afro. That's her character. She's the girl with the afro. I mean, that's not good. And I would say, oh, there were stereotypes. They weren't even stereotypes. It was just that actor or actress, these are all young girls, that actress, you stand there and look frightened. That actress, you look concerned. You know, it's like they have no motives, they have no backstory. So when they start falling like flies, you're kind of like, well, who gives a shit? I don't care. So that was a problem. The good thing is this didn't become a Chucky movie. Annabelle wasn't sitting there running around. If you want that, that's what the Chucky movies are for. This is different. It's more of a supernatural take. It has more to do with demons and things like that. But it wasn't a very, very strong movie. It was exceedingly over the top average. So that kind of gives away what I'm about to do here as far as the grade. So no big spoilers on that one. But it was average. It wasn't great. But you could sit through it without throwing up. So I'm going to give it, or need to go to the
That's
bathroom.
what she said.
It is a C-. I give it a C-, which certainly don't run out and spend a ton of cash, but if you got that MoviePass, there are worse films that you could spend the money on. We spent a good amount of time talking about one of them here.
This show brought to you by MoviePass.
Yeah, it really was. Yeah, but I wanted to talk about some of that stuff. I don't know about you. I kind of find the buying gift cards with it, I think that's a little shady. But I'm not beyond doing that.
No. At least you're paying for the movies this time.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I'm actually enjoying it. What you're basically doing, just so everybody understands, what you're doing is you're giving up your privacy for free movies. because you're granting them access to know how much, what movies you're seeing and where. That's what you're doing.
Oh, so it's just a tool for movie companies to kind of understand their demographic even more, and they'll probably take it afterwards.
Pretty much, that's the payoff. Okay, they're saying we're going to give you cheap movies, but we need to know about your habits. Which I'm like, I already post that shit. I have on the Facebook account and stuff. People that watch my Facebook, they see it all the time. I go, hey, I'm about to see this movie, and then I shit all over it or say it's great. So I'm like, yeah, if you want to pay for my movies, yeah, I'll do that. That's no big deal. So pretty excited about MoviePass. Not so excited about all the movies I've seen. This has not been the best year for movies.
Just go see it a couple of times more.
That is what I'm going to be doing. One thing I do want to point out, Sandy wasn't on the show. She was going to review Chastity Bites, and that is available on Amazon Video, but is also playing at the Hollywood in Pittsburgh, and they have a lot of great movies coming up in October. They are going to be showing October 9th Victor Crowley with an appearance by director Adam Green.
Wow, that's awesome.
They are going to be showing Effects, starring Joe Pilato and Tom Savini. On October 10th, they have Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. October 15th, Whatever Happened to Baby Jane is a breakfast in a movie. That doesn't sound like a good breakfast film to me. Let's see. The Old Dark House, 1932, is going to be shown October 13th through the 15th. October 21st is the annual Halloween party with the Lost Boys, which I think, what was it, 30 years or 40 years this year? I think it was 30-year anniversary was this year. Let's see, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, October 22nd through the 24th. October 27th and 28th, The Mads are back with a vengeance. That one I don't know, so that sounds interesting to me. And October 29th through November 1st, of course, it's October. You have to see John Carpenter's Halloween. It's all coming to the Hollywood in Pittsburgh. Check it out if you're in area. What is it? Dormont is the actual city? Huh?
It isn't Dormont, yes.
I think that's pretty good for a guy on the other side of the country knowing that stuff.
Not too bad. Not too bad at all.
I do wish we had something like that here. Our Revival movie house went out of business a long time ago.
Why don't you restart one?
I call that my basement. And that's where I keep the people. Drew, do you want to tell people where they can get their best apparel?
www.fastcustomshirts.com, where you can get your brand new East Coast Horror Group t-shirt. Get one for every day of the week, every month of the year, every year of the next millennia.
That's fantastic. And if you're found wearing one of your own volition,
Tim will not kidnap you and chain you up in his basement.
That's true. And also, you get to ask your question at the next panel of Days of the Dead.
It's true.
It is true. And believe me, people go, but all those people wearing those t-shirts how will you ever get to all of them for the questions? I'm going to tell you right now, that's not a problem. Don't have to worry about that. There are not 500 people with these shirts yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
But there can be. If you just go over to www.fastcustomshirts.com.
That's right. So get yours. Get them while they're still available.
They're selling out quick. They're going off like hotcakes if no one ever ate a fucking hotcake.
I saw another one get sold just the other day. So
yeah, Adam bought one.
Yeah. But that's one more than anyway.
Thanks, Adam. We love you.
It was great. Okay, I think we ran out of gas a while ago, but thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll have another show on a select Tuesday. Watch your Facebook feeds. check us out at the Dead On Movie Reviews Facebook page. That's where you can always find out when the next show is. And on Thursday, Drew, do you have a show coming up?
Oh, we do. We do very, very have a very, very show.
A very, very
God
show.
damn it. God damn it.
That was awesome. I love
But seriously, Days of the Dead has announced more guests than we can probably even talk about in one show. So we'll try to get to all of those. Of course, we're going to talk about American Horror Story and, other news and current events going on in the world of horror.
Fantastic. Well, we all look forward to that. And we're going to close things out. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in tonight, and those of you that are listening to us later. So until next time, despair, for all hope is gone. Remember to turn up the radio and turn down the lights, because that's how you make Drew look better.
East Coast Horror Group.
Why'd you do that?
It's a public service message.
Dum dum dum. Dark rooms make Drew attractive.
The more you know.